I've managed to catch RPG Limit Break live. Well, here you go. And here you are, Decoy Cheap. Welcome in to RPG Limit Break. Again, you are watching RPG Limit Break 2025. I am PSEG, and I am honored to bring the next run to you. It is Musical Daredevil running the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Glitchless main quest. MD, let's see how this is done.
Thank you so much, PSEG. What a wonderful introduction. Yes, I am Musical Daredevil, and I will be speedrunning not one, but 2 games for you. As we met the incentive for the Morrowind bonus run, that will be coming much later. Of course, as you can see, we are now on Skyrim, and that will be the main run here. I'm Musical Daredevil. I, of course, have one commentator with me. You want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Alec47. I have played these games a lot. I follow the speedruns, and so I know things about them. That's why I'm here.
Yes. Also, we're here to vibe, and of course, we got PSEG over there on the host stand. So we're just going to get right into it. Time will not be starting when I load the save. It will be starting when I get full character control, and I will give you a countdown when that's about to happen. And with that, let's just head into it.
Trans rights.
Trans rights. Now, we have skipped a lot of the opening cutscenes because you don't really do anything during those. So you can start the timer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so we are now in Helgen. A big dragon has appeared during the opening cutscene. I did not go up the staircase there properly. Oh, well. Now, Alduin's going to be very helpful and punch a hole in the wall for us here. We're just going to jump on Alduin, then jump around this here. And that is going to get us to the wall of Helgen. We can just keep jumping around here, and we have basically skipped all of the running through Helgen and like the Civil War backstory and like the fighting and all that stuff. Very nice time save there. So I'm going to introduce you all to a concept called bumping. If you just bump into an NPC that actually skips to the end of their dialogue, this is not a glitch, this is just how Todd Howard intended it. We are going to be doing that throughout the run because there is a lot of dialogue throughout this entire run, and that is going to save a lot of time if we do it every time there's a bit of dialogue we can skip. There is a bit of a cooldown timer though, so we can't do it right away on the second bump. Going to map a couple of spells there. All right. Wait for this door to lower. Just going to jump across here. We are supposed to battle those Stormcloaks there. We're not going to. We're just going to keep on going. We're going fast here. Going to jump down the stairs. Yes, did get that second jump there. Alduin is going to try and stagger us. Not going to happen. We're just going to head in through this door. I'm going to grab some potions here for safety. I will be using those later on during the run. And we're just going to run down this hallway. Now, one thing I do want to mention is that stamina management is actually very important throughout the run, but especially in these earlier parts. Going to grab some gold off the mage here. Come on. Can I loot the mage? There we go. Okay. Not going to worry too much about the battle going on behind me. It's fine. All right. So stamina management is very important because you do want to sprint as much as you can to go fast, of course. But you want to be careful for when you have stamina. Now, you may notice me bunny hopping. That is basically how we take care of things when I don't have stamina. I'm regaining my stamina as I just kind of bunny hop my way through this hallway here. Supposed to have another battle here. We're just going to ignore that.
Yeah, there are multiple infinite run glitches, but this is supposed to be as glitchless as you reasonably can be in a Bethesda game.
Yeah, supposed to be.
That's the intention. We're not going to try to glitch. They may happen.
There are a few points we're going to get to that we're going to have a little bit of a discussion here, just all of you and me. Anyway, grabbing that gold here. We got some spiders coming up. I'm just going to try and run through here. There is a bit of RNG where if I get hit by one of their webs, that drains all my stamina. Don't want that, of course. Looks like it didn't happen, so I can just jump up here. Going to grab some gold and some wines from this cart right here. Whoops. Come on. All right, it's just going to spill everything out for me. Happens. And with that, we can just head out of the tutorial dungeon. There's a bear over there. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, if you like Skyrim parkour, you're going to be seeing a reasonable amount of it here because a lot of the stuff that could be skipped with all the various glitches that this game has, obviously we're not going to be doing.
Nope. No glitches, except for the exceptions. So what you're about to see here is kind of my movement loop to start off Skyrim, especially when traveling long distances early on in the run. I'm going to run until my stamina runs out. Don't worry about this. I can take it. And then I'm going to wait for an hour. That is going to instantly restore my stamina, at least here in RTA, and then I'm just going to keep running some more. Where we are going right now, I should also stop sprinting while I'm in the air because that still uses up stamina, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
So we are actually on our way to Whiterun. We've got a few stops on the way. These rocks can troll me a bit here. I like to refer to these as the rocks of no jumping allowed because sometimes it just not let me jump. Like right
that.
now. Yep. Nice. That was actually my second least favorite rock in the game, and we just jumped over it. It cooperated today.
So this is Anis's cabin right here. It's just a convenient location for getting to a couple different places, particularly Bleak Falls Barrow in a little bit.
Yep.
And right now, we're going to head to Riverwood and then to Whiterun.
Yeah, we're going to pick up some fast travel points along the way, but yeah, basically at this point, I'm just kind of running until my stamina runs out and then waiting. There is some RNG that can happen where just enemies or monsters or other things can just randomly spawn along this path, which is rather annoying. We might have to deal with them depending on where they are, but I think we might be in the clear at least for now. I say might be because you never know what can happen with this game.
Yeah, there's some places with guaranteed spawns and other places where random encounters can happen. Sometimes they're hostile, sometimes they're not, but if there are hostile creatures too near, you can't wait.
Yep. And speaking of hostile creatures, there is one up ahead. There is a very bad dog who is going to prevent us from saving or prevent us from waiting, and so I am unfortunately going to have to deal with it.
Yep, right up here. You can hear it.
Where are you? There we go. Okay. Now, I did have to be careful with how long I held that spell down, because if I was actually still activating the spell when the bad dog died, then that actually could lead to a cutscene, and cutscenes take time, and we don't want to take up time. We want to save it, so...
Yeah, it's about 5-6 seconds
exactly.
lost for each one, depending on which animation plays.
So now we are coming up to Whiterun. We are actually headed to this farm up ahead. There's a guard right outside there who could spawn in a number of locations. We're going to get the fast travel point, and then we're going to try and pickpocket the guard. And we're going to try and pickpocket his bow off of him, which he is obviously holding. He's going to be like, what the heck are you doing? We'll be like, actually, just take us to jail.
Guard warping.
Guard warping. So I'm just going to say, yes, I'll serve my time. And we are now here in Dragon's Reach. We have basically had that guard very helpfully warp us there. Thank you, guard. Now that I've done that, I'm going to take the carriage to Windhelm. And in Windhelm, we are going to start a little bit of shenanigans.
Where do you want to go?
There's Windhelm.
Back and we'll be off.
Going to get this fast travel point first, and then we will be on our way.
To Windhelm? Oldest city in Skyrim by some account.
Now in Windhelm, there's a D in there, Windhelm, I'm going to steal a horse. I'm just going to head over here to the stables, quick save in case this fails. I'm just going to hop right on. They're fine, they don't mind. Once I've taken that horse, we're going to head back to Riverwood, and then I'm just going to ride this horse. Now, as some of you might know, horses in Skyrim are very, very overpowered. They can ride up some things that you might not expect they would be able to. But we're just going to show you just how overpowered horses in Skyrim can be. I'm going to head over here to this cliff face. I'm just going to jam myself in here while sprinting. And if I get everything correctly, yep, that horse can just go right up that cliff face. Easy.
So the way this works is more of an exploit than a glitch, really, believe it or not. The way that Skyrim calculates your position in relation to the terrain around you is kind of approximate. This is a common thing in a lot of games, actually.
Yep.
And it's all balanced around the player character. However, the horse, because it is much longer, this long boy takes up a different area and can move a little bit forward, and then the game's like, oh, it moved forward. And the ground is higher there, so this must be where you are. So it's something that's unavoidable and not really a glitch. Like, you can clip under the map and then get back up to it. That could be considered a glitch, like calling it an upwarp, but you don't even need that.
Yeah, you don't.
This is just the horse climbs.
Yep. And the thing about this is that this is so easy to accidentally do casually while just riding a horse that we in the Skyrim community just kind of allow ourselves to do this while glitchless, just because it's like so common that these approximations will lead to the horse doing various things. Anyway, I have just ridden a horse to High Hrothgar. You may remember that, you have to climb the 7,000 steps and fight a very annoying frost troll. I just skipped all of that by just riding a horse up a mountain. But we're not done yet. I'm going to head over here to the sides. Gonna make sure I get all the way to the end there. There we go. Get over this. Head off to this side. Oops. Okay. And see if I can get up this quickly. Perfect. All right. And now we're just going to keep on going upwards some more.
Yeah, up at the top of this mountain is the throat of the world, and we're going to have to get there eventually, and this is the fastest way to get there without glitches.
Oh, so that's kind of a soft lock there. If the game doesn't quite detect the horses on the ground when you jump, it's going to say like, oh, I'd better wait until you're on the ground, and then we never get there. There we go. All right. Cross this here. Then up this. This is the part I oftentimes have trouble with. But hopefully this horse cooperates. And there we go. We have just ridden a horse to the throat of the world. Now that we've done that, we're going to warp back to Anis's cabin. And we are going to head into Bleak Falls Barrow. Actually, I'm a little bit paranoid. I just want to make sure. Okay, we're good. It's a marathon. Got to make absolutely sure that things happen. All right, so we're heading to Bleak Falls Barrow now. And we are pretty much done with the horse at this point. The horse served us very well, getting us to the throat of the world. But now we're going to head off on our own. Everyone say bye to the horse.
Bye, horse.
Bye, horse.
It's going to make its way back to Windhelm. It'll be fine.
Yep, it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. So we're going to head through here. We're mostly going to run through the dungeon. I did talk about stamina being very important. It's especially important in here. There are very specific spots where I'm going to want to make sure I'm able to wait. So there are, of course, enemies in here, and when there are enemies following me, I can't do that. I'm going to cut this corner here. There's a specific spot I want to get to while running. It's right around here. Perfect. That should be far enough away. What do we got? Health potion. That's very good luck. I'm going to grab that. We will need health potions for later. Down here, if you've played this game casually, you might remember this puzzle. Very easy. You just grab this, then each of these twice. Don't worry about that bandit. He's not a problem. Now, down here are a few skeevers. If I don't kill them now, they are going to prevent me from waiting when I want to. So I'm just going to grab them now. Going to grab those scrolls of fireball for later. Going to wait here. There we go. No, it's never back down. And that bandit followed me down here. Let's see if we got the floating hand again. No, we didn't. Sometimes there's like a hand floating there. It's kind of funny. Anyway, there is Arvo the Swift, or was. He has a very important fetch quest item on him, and it looks like the spider got distracted, so I didn't get hit by a web, which is very nice, because again, drains my stamina. All right, got a couple rooms here. This is like the deeper part of the dungeon where you get introduced to Draugr. There are some axes here. I'm going to quick save before I go through these, because you can actually get diseased by getting hit by those axes, and if you do, well, that's actually the end of the run. So let's not.
It's uncommon, but it does happen.
Yep. I have actually, thankfully, not had it happen before, but I don't want today to be the first day it happens. And okay, good, I did recover my stamina there. Oftentimes, the game doesn't want me to recover stamina there. If I'm still running whenever I wait, then I get basically what I like to call a fake wait, where I don't actually recover stamina. So I have to make sure that I stopped running completely before I wait. And that room gets kind of hectic. Down here, we've got a Draugr that's going to prevent me from waiting, so I'm just going to take care of him. There he goes. And we got one more wait up here before, I won't say a mini-boss level Draugr, but a leveled Draugr. Or some of the others. And
it has more HP, and it doesn't matter.
Exactly. We're just going to run right past him. Up here, I'm going to run for a while, and hopefully I will get far enough away from that Draugr that I can just wait up here. Perfect. Nice, made it through that cycle. All right, sometimes I fail at this. Get out of my way, excuse me. I got places to go. Sometimes I fail at that platforming section. Today was not one of those days. And here we have another puzzle. This puzzle's very easy. You just hit everything twice. Oh, didn't get the outer one. Whoops. That was the claw we got from Arvel. And in here we have our first big boss battle, although for me with my destruction spells, kind of trivial. And jump over this door there. Let's go. Now inside of here we have a word wall. And it is going to teach us a word of something called a dragon shout. We are going to get a big plot dump of that later on. But basically, if you know Fus Roda, this is Fus. We're going to learn that. Gonna get my fire spell ready and then turn this way. And here's the boss. And there he goes. He has a very important fetch quest item on him. We're just going to grab that. Going to grab that.
You didn't grab the sword, I don't think.
I did grab it.
Okay.
Actually, it's the Dragonstone anyway that's more important.
Yeah.
I can deal with not grabbing the sword. A one-handed weapon is actually very nice. It's going to make things a lot easier coming up, if that is indeed what I got. We'll find out when we get to the Miramilnir fight. Going to grab this chest. And then we are going to head back to Whiterun. Because that Dragonstone in there that we got was a fetch quest item, and we're basically just going to do some dialogue and turn it all in at the same time. Very convenient. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to head in here. I'm going to run up to the Jarl, and then I'm going to exit some dialogue. And then I'm going to set one of these poor hapless NPCs on fire.
Please, well, this is no I trust you. You were at Helgen when we need more information before. What's the meaning? You say now, Professor.
And then the guard is going to say, hey, that's illegal. You can't do that. And I'll say, all right, I will pay off my bounty of 40 gold. And what that just did was that just skipped a very, very long in-game cutscene with lots of dialogue. And the first thing the Jarl is going to tell me when I get back is, well done.
Come, let's go find Farin.
All right. So with that, we now get the quest to turn in the Dragonstone, but we already have it, so we can just head up to Farengar and say, hey, guess what?
Well, when I say straight to the point,
We're going to bump him for some dialogue and say we got it. And then we are going to buy a spell of short sword. Now, we can't really afford that right now, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sell all my clothing. All of it. Whoops, I did not mean to sell that. That is actually important. Let's see. Okay, good. We were able to get that.
Remember.
A bit low on gold for the next section, but that can
Yeah.
be worked around a bit.
Okay, I'm going to pickpocket this guard's bow. He's going to be like, what the heck, that's illegal. I'm going to take you outside, which is great because that's much faster than getting outside the other way. All right. So what basically just happened is a dragon was spotted over by the Western Watchtower. And so the Jarl and Irileth and all those folks, they want me to go out and help the folks here at the Western Watchtower with fighting it. So let's just go there. Gonna wait again to recover my stamina. There's gonna be some guards that just like drop in over there. And you know what? There's a dragon, and we saw a big dragon. I'm kind of scared, so let's actually just head back to the stables. Let's head far away from here, honestly. I'm thinking we might head to like Winterhold or something. That's far enough away.
Need a ride? Where do you want to go?
Let's see.
That's fine.
Let's see if I can load a save. I think we are out of gold. If not, I do have
Yeah, it was
ways of dealing with that.
basically selling and rebuying that scroll got rid of gold. You lose gold when you do that, unfortunately. There's no like buyback or undo button like that. So what happened is
Yes,
what
I ran out of gold, basically.
and what he's trying to do here is go to the do something essentially to pass time and interrupt a scripted event.
Yep.
This is going to be done throughout the entire run.
All right. Let us wait 12 hours. There is a glitch I could do here to speed this up, but that's a glitch, and this is glitchless. And I did actually need both of those scrolls for a very difficult part of the run that's going to come up. Oh, not going to do that. No console allowed. Okay. Let's see, is this the day that Bellathor's General Goods is closed? That's rather annoying.
Dear,
Okay. What I might do is I might load another save like I was going to do. Or we could just not go to Winterhold right now and go there later. I think I'll do that. And if that ends up being a problem, then I will just load another save. Okay.
I'll remind you when you're doing that specific section.
Perfect. Okay, but anyway, we skipped the dragon cutscene, so let's head back to the Western Watchtower. Yes, this is something that has happened to me before. Always fun during marathon runs. There is a bit of RNG that can happen here. I want the dragon to land. Where are you? There you are. Excellent. Wonderful. All right, that makes up for all the time I just wasted trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah, Myrmilnir here is a fire dragon, and cold is effective. So this ancient Nord greatsword that you got from Bleak Falls Barrow is quite effective here.
We got bad RNG. Actually, not that bad, but yeah, cutscenes, they waste time.
Yeah, that's the short dragon kill. It is much shorter than the alternative.
Yep, exactly. All right, so now that we've done that, we can head back to the stables, and we're going to head to a number of different locations to get fast travel points. So, PSEG, if you have anything, now would be a great time.
Absolutely, I gotcha. We've got a couple donations rolling in for supporting Nami. We've got a $50 donation from an anonymous donor. No comment, but thank you so much for your kind donation. We've also got $85 from Dent in Your Head, who says, let's just get us to that 50K, shall we? And we are under $600 away from that 50K point. So let's keep those donations rolling in. We are so very, very close.
All right, we are at Riften, just got a couple more cities to go to. We're going to head to Solitude next. And in Solitude, we're going to hear a whole bunch of people yelling at us. Those people are the Greybeards. They happen to notice that we killed a dragon and absorbed its soul. And so they're going to be like, hey, we want to talk to you.
It's basically the events post-killing Myrmilnir catching up with you here.
Yep.
Get up there.
All right, so now that we've gone to Morthal, let's answer the Greybeard summons. Those are the folks who just yelled at me while I was in Solitude. All right, going to equip a couple of things here. Oh, shouts. Shouts are very important. They want us to demonstrate that. All right. Then wait for them to all come down, and then I'm just going to shout in their leader's face.
It's okay. He wants you to do it anyway. Prove that you can.
Now, tell me, Dragonborn. Wind, sky.
We're just going to bump him a whole bunch to just skip some dialogue here.
Wind.
He's telling me all about dragon shouts, but I already know about that because I've beaten this game like 100 times at this point.
Without training, when you shout,
I do have to get in and out of dialogue in order to be able to bump him again.
Master Einarth will... Sky. Go.
Okay. There we go. I'm going to head outside quickly. Wait for an audio cue. There we go. Because if I was to just go over to the word that's now on the ground, then that would take a while for it to be absorbed. But because I went outside, I'm just going to be able to absorb it right away.
You learn, but learning sky. What as part sky wind.
All right. So I'm just going to level up my one-handed skill here just for a bit. Don't worry. Greybeards don't mind.
Yeah, this is one of the funnier parts of the run. You do actually want to level up your skill here, and what you can do is hit these NPCs 3 times, and they won't aggro. If you hit them 4 times, they will. And then you have a little bit of time in between where you can let the aggro go down. But this is actually important. It's going to allow the taking of perks that increase one-handed damage, which is particularly important in this run compared to the glitched one, because there is a combat glitch that you can take advantage of where you can essentially do infinite two-handed flurries. And that deals a lot of damage, but we can't do that.
Nope. No glitches allowed. All right, now that we've done that, we're going to head outside where we get to learn actually a whole new shout. We have learned Fus and Ro so far. We are going to be learning something completely different. That is actually going to be very useful for us during the run.
Indeed. So technically, Fus is required to get past this part here, but the only other shouts are fire, which you need to use once, fire breath.
Once, yep.
And clear skies, which you need to use a couple times at the same time in the story. And this one. This is, other than like needing to be able to do it to complete the game, the most important one, because Wold, Whirlwind Sprint, gives you a burst of speed. It is useful for speeding up just travel in general, and it is also useful for crossing gaps that would otherwise be difficult.
Exactly. You're going to see just how powerful Whirlwind Sprint is in just a little bit. We're going to use it here just as a little demonstration just to show the Greybeards. Yeah, we know how shouts work. We've done this before.
Your quick mastery of...
Then we're going to head to Morthal, where we were before. Now, the Greybeards have just sent us on a quest to get the Horn of Jurgen Windcaller, so we're going to head to a dungeon near here and just go grab that. I just leveled up my Conjuration skill a little bit there. We do need to get to level 3 later on, or actually we want to be level 3. So I'm going to run until my stamina runs out, and then I'm going to Whirlwind Sprint a whole bunch. Then I'm going to wait, and I'm going to Whirlwind Sprint again, and this just moves super fast across terrain. This is our new main movement method across large distances. We are still going to be sprinting when we get to the dungeon, but yeah, this is just how we do. There is a bit of RNG that can happen here where a dragon might fly in, or there might be other monsters that spawn, in which case I, of course, can't wait, but we still have sprinting, of course, so I can just use that if that happens. But yeah, so I'm just crossing large gaps here and then waiting, and then continuing onwards as we head towards the dungeon, which is this way-ish. All right, there we go. Now, inside of the dungeon, which is Ustengrav, there are a whole bunch of necromancers. Come on, spell. There we go. Outside of here, there's a necromancer plus a few folks that he survived. Actually, no. All right, I guess he's inside. All right, fine. That necromancer gets to live today.
Probably off fighting some random spawn. That happens sometimes.
Yeah, it does.
Because he's there, unless he failed to spawn, but usually it's just like, oh, there's something over here that I am hostile to. It must die.
So he's just not there. So in here we have necromancers fighting the Draugr in this dungeon because the necromancers aren't like very good or something like that. It's kind of interesting to see who's going to win the final battle. Is it going to be the necromancers who survive or the Draugr? I have had either one win. You never know. Now here we get a bit more RNG. I'm going to try and be able to wait to recover stamina. I am mashing the button extremely hard here. I got it. Nice. You can see it. There's like a whole bunch of monsters following me right now. Not going to look, just trust me. And they're preventing me from being able to wait. And so if I hadn't gotten that on like a very early frame, I'm not sure if it's the first one, but like a very early frame, then I would not have been able to wait, and I would not have stamina right now. But I do. Wait here, and then we whirlwind sprint across these. You might remember this dungeon as having like a trap in it. Don't worry about it. You can just tank it. Got more spiders here. They're blocking this door. Very rude.
And this is the end of the dungeon.
Yep. This is where the Horn of Jurgen Windcaller is supposed to be, but it seems that someone has taken it.
Now, on the way out of here, you might think, oh, we're going to do something that's plot relevant right now. No, the plan is actually to go and get something that will be plot relevant soon. And that is to go all the way up to Winterhold and north from there. So we need to go to a guy named Septimus Cygnus to get a thing that lets us get into Blackreach. This MacGuffin, we're going to steal from him because it's faster than talking to him.
Yep.
And
ooh, the Necromancers won this time.
Yeah, that's uncommon in my experience.
Yeah. In my practice run before this, the Draugr won.
But yeah, so since we don't have the Winterhold travel, we're just going to go to a stable and then take a cart there.
Yep. Let's go to Whiterun, and I should have enough gold by this point. You can also see gold management is kind of important. If you accidentally mess up and like deviate from the route, then things can go wrong very badly. All right, let's go to Winterhold for real this time.
With some of the things, it's not the worst because most of the time the jail is basically right where they let you out after paying your fine anyway. So it's just you just have to serve your time. That can reduces your skills a little bit, or really your skill XP. And that's the unfortunate thing because again, you do want to reach level 3.
All right, so we had the guard take us to jail. We're going to break out of jail here. This is, of course, another RNG portion.
Yeah, the Winterhold jail is in a special area that is just north, kind of in an iceberg, basically. It seems like an iceberg, essentially. Hi, Frost Atronach.
Hello.
And just going to head out here because this is much closer to Septimus Cygnus's outpost than any other place we could quickly get to.
He's like right over there.
Mm-hmm.
You can already see his marker.
One island over.
Yep. This is another portion where you can like really gain or lose time easy just based on your movement here. It was not exactly optimal. That was not optimal at all, my goodness. Okay, there we go. It should be getting recharged. There we go. It was not super optimal, but it worked. All right, so
Beat swimming the whole way.
yeah, exactly. So this is another bit of RNG. I do have to pickpocket a couple items off Septimus, as LK47 said, and that can be the first try. It can take... It was the first try.
We take those.
Wow. I have gotten like over 10 tries sometimes on that.
I believe it.
Yeah, it's real bad some days.
Like, he's not good at countering pickpocket, and those items weigh nothing, so they're easy to pickpocket and, like, don't have value. But, there's still a fail rate no matter what you do with pickpocketing.
Exactly. It's an RPG. All right, so now that we have pickpocketed Septimus, we are going to head back to Riverwood because the person who took the Horn of Jurgen Windcaller told us to rent the attic room. So we're going to do that, but there is no attic room. What the heck is going on?
I think we need to talk.
All right, we need to talk, I guess, so we're just going to head in here.
Now we can talk.
That's a funny little time save right there. Close the door on her. No, she's already there.
Nice. All right, so here we have a nice big plot dump. LK47, you want to talk about what's going on here?
Sure. So dragons are coming back. They're not new dragons. They're old dragons being raised from the dead, and Delphine has figured this out. She thinks a Thalmor might be involved, so that's going to be the bit of the plot that's going to be encompassing the next 2 main missions. And so we're going to have to go and check a dragon burial mound. That seems like it's the next one where a dragon is going to be raised, and go figure that's actually going to happen. So we're also going to get access to all of this stuff. Those potions can be useful. They can be sold for gold if you need to.
I'm going to need them.
Yeah, and there are other potions that are just useful.
Must be your lucky day.
And the drunk,
Yep.
yeah.
So I'm grabbing a whole bunch of wine here. This will be useful later. Don't worry about it. Just all that wine. Also like to grab the cheese as well. That's just me. Yeah, cheese
The
and wine.
cheese
The cheese.
to die for.
Shout out to Wes Johnson. Great guy.
Yeah,
All right, with that,
wonderful performances, Shagora.
with that, let's head to Kynes Grove, where we are going to investigate the dragons coming back to life. Apparently there's a burial mound, and Delphine thinks that this dragon might be coming back to life next, so let's figure out what happens. Now, there's also another bit of RNG here. There are some thugs that might show up, because I have stolen a thing or two, and they're going to teach me a lesson. If they show up here, that is not great RNG. There are much better places for them to show up. They're more convenient for me, but they're thugs, so, you know, whatever. I am also going to try and look for an Amulet of Talos here, and that's going to come in useful later on as a bit more of a movement strat.
Yeah, the Amulet of Talos decreases the wait time for your shouts to recharge. So that is very useful, considering that we're going to be wolding a whole lot.
Yep.
And these guards can all have them.
Nope, and there's no one here. Interesting. I did actually get one in my practice run just before this, but that's rare. And, okay, good, no thugs.
It's the quickest way to get it, but there's a pretty easy backup.
Yep. Let's use this. This is easy. That backup is going to be a bit hectic, but we'll get to that later on. In the meantime, we have another dragon fight. With my Great Sword of Cold here, not a problem.
Oh yeah, I guess we haven't mentioned yet, but we are playing as a high elf.
Yes.
You may have seen that when Daredevil loaded into the save that started the run. High elves are taller than any other race.
Yep, and that actually makes you go ever so slightly faster. It's kind of fun.
Wait, something's happening. Spots above.
Let's see, I did not map my hotkeys. That's not very good of me. A little bit of one-handed practice. There we go. Thanks, Delphine. All right.
Go ahead.
So now Delphine's going to tell me why exactly she's like wants the Horn of Jorgen Windcaller and what she wants with me. She says she has no idea why dragons are coming back to life, but she thinks the Thalmor are involved. The Thalmor, are an alliance.
Problem is,
They're also kind of villains in this game in some respects. It's complicated. But we're going to go infiltrate their embassy.
They're certainly painted as villains, and if you go really deep into the lore, it's like, okay, yeah, there is a reason behind what they're doing. Their methods certainly aren't good.
No, absolutely not.
But it's like, it's kind of like any religious argument, really.
I figured out how we're going to get
Do we say this creed this way or that way? It's that level of
while you're doing. Meet me at the side.
pedantry, really.
I don't think you were.
Yeah, there's lots of reading you can do if you want to learn all about this. If you like reading, you'll like Elder Scrolls, believe me.
They have tons of books, tons of lore.
Sure do. We're not going to read any of them. All right, so...
We are going to read, though.
Yes.
We already read the bound...
Check out the carriage driver.
Yeah. Yep. We already read the bound sword spell, and we are going to do one more reading in this run.
Yep, one more. All right, so...
Well, actually, two, yeah.
Yeah, since we didn't get an Amulet of Talos, we have to get an Amulet of Talos another way. And I'm going to go fast here. You want to explain what I'm doing here and why?
Okay, so we need to put all of our important items into Malborn's inventory so he can get them into... Don't worry about the people attacking him.
Yeah, it's fine.
So basically, the stuff that is needed for the rest of the run, he's going to give to Malborn because he's not going to bother getting any of the other stuff back. And after that, he's going to go outside, and there's a guy that is executed for letting Ulfric Stormcloak with the rebellion and all go after he killed the High King. And so he has an Amulet of Talos on him. It's very convenient.
Very, very convenient. Let's do... I'm low on gold here. Let's do 100. All right, so I've given Malborn everything I need, and now we have to get out of here. That's... Wow. Y'all are
then.
rude. I am locked in here. Okay. Excellent. That is why I quick save before I come in here, just in case that happens. So now I can actually loot this corpse over here because he was executed a different way than scripted. And I can just put down my arms, and everyone's like, all right.
Yeah, the execution was interrupted, and he's scripted to die, like, I don't know, of a heart attack or whatever.
Yeah, a different way.
Just like shortly after that, no matter what happens. Even if you let him go, which you can do. It's pointless.
Good. But the only, which means when you're ready, you'll only have what you can't go.
So we have not been wearing clothes this entire time, but now we're going to because we have to because we're going to a party.
Party at the I guess that will. Ready to board the carriage to the embassy?
So all of the equipment that he's carrying right now, except for the party clothes and boots and the Amulet of Talos, because it is related to a quest and can't be taken from his inventory, is going to be taken away. So the stuff that he gave to Malborn is what's going to be used for the rest of the run.
Yep.
Thank you, sir. Go right in.
All right, so we are now at the Thalmor Embassy. This here is Elenwen. She has not met us before. My name is Transrights. Nice to meet you. And then Malborn, who's kind of our agent on the inside, is like trying to cause some diversions and like run interference for us.
Do I have your permission to uncork the Arenthia?
Hey, watch it!
Yes, Madam Ambassador.
Okay, just going to grab these, and then we're going to tell Malborn that we are ready to infiltrate the rest of the embassy.
Of course. I'll be waiting by the door.
Now, we have to basically break away from the party, and Razlan here is going to be our way of doing that. What we're going to do is we're going to give him a drink, and he's going to cause a diversion for us. Stand back and hold his handiwork. We're just going to wait here, not at all suspiciously by this door. Don't worry, Ellenwood, nothing's happening.
Attention, everyone. Could I have your attention, please? I have an announcement to make.
All right, there we go. We are going to steal all of their wine. Of course, very important. There we go.
In vino veritas.
Yep, exactly. All right, so now we're in the rest of the embassy. Now, the Thalmor don't really want us here, and so they're going to try and kill me. This is actually a harder part of the run than what I was dealing with there in Solitude with that hecticness. That was rather interesting.
There are going to be a lot of enemies following here. Like,
Yep,
a lot. A lot.
Yep. What are you doing? You're not supposed to go down that early. Anyway, okay, excellent. I can get stuck at that door there, and that's very bad. This is a place that gets stuck in easily. There's lots of choke points and passageways, and please get away from the door. Thank you.
So now he's got to go up here and get a key to the trapdoor, which is the way out of here.
Yep.
And also read the little thing here.
That's another book of reading.
That is the faster way to learn what you need to learn here.
Whoops. Let's see. Did I equip that?
What was that?
Okay.
Sorry, Malborn. You were in the way.
Okay. Gonna have to equip the other one. That was weird. Okay, there we go. And you should have a trapdoor key. Yep, you do. Okay. Oh, perfect. You just let me right through. Thank you very much. Very helpful, Thalmor. All right. More RNG coming up. If anyone comes with me out of this cave, then I will not be able to fast travel away quickly. This is why I grabbed some stamina potions earlier. They're, of course, following me. But I'm going to try and get out of here before they do. Okay, I think we got away.
That looked good.
Yep. Did not see anyone. All right, we are good. No bad RNG here.
Excellent.
But anyway, in the basement there, that's why I had to make sure I got the scroll there, because I did need both of those to make things a bit safer for myself. All right, so in the Thalmor Embassy, we learned about someone named Esbern, who used to be a member of the Blaze, which Delphine is also part of, who we met in Riverwood. And so we're going to go and try and find him before the Thalmor do. Spoiler alert, they've already found him, and so we're going to have to fight our way through them.
They'd skin us alive if they knew we were doing this.
Okay, make sure I jump across here. Good. All right, so here we're here in the Ratway. Now, this is the point in the run where I hope that I have made it to level 3. If not, I have ways of getting there later, but let's see what we got. Did not do it. All right. Oh, we are very close, actually. So,
Yeah, literally one level in
Yep.
anything. And Esbern has some skill books in his area, so
Yep.
I don't remember exactly where they are, but that's a nice backup.
Yep. I stole from the Thieves Guild, by the way, just now. Rather fun.
Got to get more wine.
Exactly. All right, my conjuration increased. That will be our level up to level 3. That's the other backup. All right, level up stamina again. I will need that. And hopefully I'll be able to level up one-handed the second time. Looks like no. Let's actually level up two-handed. I will be using that a little bit. All right. So this here is Esbern. He is in hiding. He's pretending to not be Esbern. But we'll tell him we're Dragonborn, and he'll be like, oh, all right then. I'll let you in.
You'd better come inside.
This is one of the things that you can't really speed up too much, though.
Yep, exactly. And so we're just going to wait for Esbern to unlock this really complicated door here. So, P-Seg, if you got anything, now's a great time.
Yes, I absolutely have a wonderful donation for you. We are now under $100 to 50K.
Nice.
And that is in part thanks to a $500 donation from Yautzen,
Wow.
who says, and bear with me here, shucks, missed Chrono Cross, but I'll catch the VOD. Wanted to donate for a game and soundtrack that for me and likely many others really helped get through hard times. My father took his life indirectly in March due to risky behaviors from prolonged grief disorder that started after my mother passed. As loss is something we all go through, it is through community and support that we survive. And when that is not readily available, great resources like NAMI can be literal lifesavers. Modern technology can separate just as easily as it can bring together, and I'm glad I found great communities online that help, even when my closest IRL friend or family are thousands of miles away. This has helped me process from by fate through the girl who stole the stars and onto Mount Pyre. I know I will eventually get back to Arnie Village, homeworld, with ongoing love and support. Please don't hesitate to ask for help. And if you see someone struggling, the best thing you can do is offer a listening ear. And if they accept, a helping hand. These diseases can take away motivation so you won't hear a shout for help. Often, only silence. Donation goes to Runner's Choice. Thank you so much,
Thank
Alex.
you so much.
That's for that very heartwarming. I'm so sorry for everything you've gone through, but thank you for your very, very kind donation. That does a lot of good for NAMI.
What an amazingly powerful message. So in the world record run, you guard warp out of the Ratway. I didn't do that. I'm just going to get out of here normally. There is another bit of RNG that can happen right outside. There's an NPC who might attack us, but we will see what happens. Yep, all right. We're going to have to fight Shivari. Shivari is aligned with the Thalmor. Unless that's... Oh, hello, Courier. I have never gotten a Courier here before, so if you'd like to say the line, now's a good time. There we go. Okay, there goes Shivari. Now we can go to Markarth. And normally the Courier shows up in Riverwood, but this time I guess was different. All right, so we have leveled up to level 3. We have our Amulet of Talos, and we have Whirlwind Sprint. So now you're going to see the movement loop we're going to have for the rest of the run. I can Whirlwind Sprint, I can then sprint until I run out of stamina, and that should last just until the cooldown completes for Whirlwind Sprint again, so I can just Whirlwind Sprint again, wait, Whirlwind Sprint, actual sprint, and then just Whirlwind Sprint again. So right now we are heading to the Karth Spire, which leads to Skyhaven Temple. I always get this name confused with the Temple in Oblivion. This is not Oblivion, this is Skyhaven Temple. If I was to come here later on, when the plot tells me to come here with Esper and Delphine, there are a couple boss level dragons that would spawn, and I am extremely underleveled, so we don't want to deal with that. So I'm just going to come here now with Esbern, and maybe a dragon will spawn. That happens sometimes, but it won't be one of those boss level ones.
And regardless, you can just go here and activate the fast travel for the area in Skyhaven Temple that just unlocked. It unlocks when you get Esbern, and then head back to Delphine.
Yeah. By the way, that was my least favorite rock in the entire game, and I managed to jump over it pretty easily. So that was nice.
May I just interrupt you for a minute?
Absolutely.
Musical Daredevil.
Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, folks and friends, everyone, and for Zathian also who wanted to have this read as well, we have just hit $50,000! Thank you all for your kind donations to help the National Alliance on Mental Illness. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank
Keep
you all
those
so much.
donations rolling in. Back to you, MD.
Yes. Yeah, thank you all so much. NAMI is an incredible cause, and your generosity is going to help so many people. Here we have my least favorite tree in the game. I have to jump on it in just the right way. I did not do that? Okay.
So, for those of you who are wondering why everyone's laughing, there is a very cool person, volunteer, runner, a tea tree, who just came into the room to help celebrate the 50,000 with us, and then least favorite tree.
Wow. That's...
For the record, a tea tree, we love you.
Oh my goodness, I am so sorry, a tea tree. See, that tree is one of my favorite trees, so you know, you're all right.
Can't script it.
Exactly. Wow, that's incredible. Anyway, so we got to Skyhaven Temple. We got the fast travel point. So now we are going to head to the Dwemer ruin of Mazinkaleft. If you go through Mazinkaleft, that is one of several ways you can get to the Elder Scroll. Yes, there is an Elder Scroll in this game, and we're going to read it. But first we have to get it. We have to get it as a fetch quest item a bit later on, and so we're going to go through the ruin of Mazinkaleft because that is actually the fastest way for us to get there.
Yeah, there are a couple places that are reasonably quick.
Whoops. Let's see.
Probably the autosave there.
Yes.
That's going to be before the travel.
Yeah, that is a very tall cliff. Am I running? Yes, I am. I'm going to load that again, actually, just so I can wait. There we go. Okay.
Woo.
Woo. These dogs want to play. They're not as bad as the other one. They will prevent me from waiting, but I don't need to. All right, let's not die this time, hopefully. Be careful. Get down here slowly. There we go.
So there are basically three choices to get to the Elder Scroll. Mazinkaleft is one of them, Ralbethar is another, and then Alftand is the one that the quest marker points you to.
Yep.
And I just said those in order of how fast they are. Mazinkaleft is like, I think, 20 seconds-ish faster than Ralbethar, and then Alftand is just slow. And so that all factors into like how long it takes to get there as well as how long it takes to go through the dungeon. This one, there's a lot of it that you can actually skip with a little bit of parkour, and that helps a lot. So coming up here in a little bit, we are going to reach a section after a little bit of a puzzle that is just easy to memorize. Like, okay, you press these things in this order. Also, yes, what do we do when we're in combat and we need stamina? We drink wine.
We drink wine, yes. So there are like Dwemer automatons all over the place, so I can't wait in here. But wine has a stamina restoration effect. So we're just going to drink a whole bunch of wine and then just run our way through this dungeon. I'm going to quick save here because this part is kind of dicey.
And don't worry, high elves are used to drinking wine. They are built for it, you might say.
All right, if I'm lucky, then those Dwemer Centurions have actually gotten trapped, and I think that's actually what happened. No, open the door. There we go. Now I'm going to try and wait here.
Who's there?
Didn't get it. Okay. Not the end of the world, but that is rather annoying because we have more enemies here. That was the wrong button. Okay.
So once you get over here, if you're able to get up on there, you can just kind of jump your way over and skip a pretty long section of filled with Falmer, traps, and all sorts of fun stuff like that.
We just skipped all of that. This is the last area of Mazinkaleft. You just have to come in here, activate that, play a little ring around the rosy with this Dwemer automaton, and we are in Blackreach. This area, very, very pretty area, but you do get to it after a very long dungeon crawl, so it's like, oh, great, more crawling to get to the Elder Scroll, if you're me. If you're not me, this is a very pretty area. It's one of the most amazing areas in the game. I gained a respect for Blackreach later on when I came back here. But yeah, my first time through it, it was after I did go through Alftand, which is the longest dungeon, and yeah, it was a choice.
Alftand also puts you at the exact opposite end of Blackreach.
You get to experience all of Blackreach after that long dungeon.
Yeah, Mazinkaleft is fairly close. It's just that the dungeon is so much faster than Ralbethar. Ralbethar, you can't, like, it's a longer dungeon to begin with, and there's less of it that you can skip. Also takes a little bit longer to get to than Mazinkaleft.
Exactly. Yeah, Mazinkaleft, you can go there like from Ustengrav pretty easily with Whirlwind Sprint. Okay, we ran out of stamina a bit early. So if you play this game casually, you probably remember the puzzle that's coming up. Don't worry, I'm going to show you the solution, but first I'm going to quick save because sometimes this I can actually soft lock. All right, it is 4 on this button. And you do have to be careful because if you press it too many times, this can glitch out and then you're soft locked and you can never complete the game. Unless you load a save. All right, it is 2 on this button. 2, and then 1 on this one. And now you know how to finish the puzzle.
And Septimus doesn't need the ruined lexicon. That can wait.
Exactly. And here is the Elder Scroll. We got it, yep.
That is what this... Yeah. It's what this game is all about. Elder Scrolls.
Elder Scrolls, one of them. Actually, there's a couple of them in Oblivion. But anyway, now that we have finished taking Esbern through both of those dungeons, we can now finally take him to Delphine where he was trying to go in the first place. And they will finally be reunited. He's just going to run over there. I'm going to grab some more wine.
What are you staring at?
We're going to head outside. This is going to skip a whole bunch of dialogue. And back inside. Okay. And then should be one more, and then we get the next quest update to go to Skyhaven Temple, which you may remember because we were just there, kind of. Wait for it. Okay, there we go. But we did not go inside. We are going to go inside now that Esbern is actually going to tell us how to get in there. Going to head over here, wait for them to show up. There you are.
The Akaviri blood seal. Only
We're going to have to do a little bit of bloodletting to get inside. But that's just how the Akaviri roll, I guess. All right. Now, inside of this temple is a wall, and that wall is going to tell us how to defeat Alduin. Come on, there we go. I am doing some waiting here because that's going to skip a whole bunch of dialogue and talking. They're just going to warp up to where they're supposed to go, instead of like admiring all the sculptures and stuff like that, which they can totally do later. I gotta go fast now. All right, that is a very, very overpowered weapon there for fighting dragons, and so we're absolutely gonna pick it.
Yeah, it is a one-handed sword, and it deals an extra 20 damage to dragons. That is going to be very useful in both Alduin fights.
That's all.
Got some bumping here while they dump some lore.
This is where. Goodbye.
You ever heard of such a thing?
All right.
Probably right.
That one.
We'll look around. Talos guard you.
I picked the wrong dialogue option in my practice run. That wastes quite a bit of time. Anyway, so apparently we have to learn a shout to defeat Alduin, but no one quite knows what it is. We're about to talk to the Greybeards. They don't know it. So they're going to refer us to their leader, Parthernax. But let's talk to the Greybeards first. Now, we did actually get the Horn of Jurgen Windcaller from Delphine, so we're actually going to turn in that quest, finally. And they're going to be like, you finally retrieved it. We're going to teach you the final word of Fusro Da, which is, well, Da.
We're never going to use it.
Nope. Hello, Arngir.
And you do have to turn that in order to get to the, get them to actually teach you Clear Skies, which you do need in order to finish the game.
Okay. And inside. And the word should be on the ground.
Master Wolfgar.
This is us absorbing, or I guess learning Da. Something like that. All right. And then from here, the Greybeards are going to yell at me some more. It's basically a cutscene where I can't move. So, P-Seg, if you got anything?
Absolutely. So we were so hype over getting to 50K, I didn't read some of the donations that got us there. So let's read those right now. We got $5 from Iggy Zig, who says, Skyrim belongs to the Nords or to the Empire. No, Skyrim is fully owned by MD. Best of luck on the runs, plural. And let's get that 50,000 less than 3, which obviously we did. And we also have $94 from Rizukun, who says, insert clever comment here. Ooh, wow. Thank you for that, Rizu. That's very, very nice. We also have $25 from Moonblaze Wolf, who says, I'm not convinced at T-Tree. I just so happened to wander into the practice room earlier, and Musical Daredevil immediately pointed out his least favorite wolf in Skyrim. Dare I say, MD, J'accuse.
Have you learned nothing from us?
Oh boy. I am in trouble.
Voices. Follow me. When
All right. So yeah, Arngir basically just told us that he doesn't know what the shout is. So he's going to refer us to their leader, who's up at the Throw of the World, which we wrote a host to earlier. I'm going to wait a bit. They're teaching us the Clear Skies shout. If I wasn't to wait, then Arngir would very slowly shout one word at a time. But because I waited there, then all three of the words are on the ground, and it's a lot faster. Okay, we got that. We got this one and this one.
I will grant you.
And with that, we can head to the Throw of the World and meet the leader of the Greybeards, Parthenax. And Parthenax just so happens to be a dragon. How about that? And not only a dragon, but a dragon voiced by the same voice actor as Mario.
Shoutouts to Charles Martinet.
Yes. Shoutouts to Charles Martinet.
Tell me. Drem. Hear my thoughts.
So many shenanigans going on during this run. Oh, you're here. Okay, interesting.
So those are the thugs sent
Yes.
to rough you up.
Yes. So yeah. This has happened before, believe it or not. Okay. So we're gonna have to deal with these folks for a bit. Just bear with me. I just learned fire breath. I don't know what they're thinking. Okay. So yeah, they somehow got up here. Very tenacious.
Also, so much for glitchless because there's
Yeah.
a bit of a
Yeah, there's-
sound repeating.
Yes, that's fun. Okay.
So, what would you ask?
So you want to talk about what Parthenax is saying while I menu?
So basically, Parthenax is talking about how shouts work a little bit, and like he can't know this shout because it is completely against his nature, this Dragonrend shout. And it's like, oh, you need to go get an Elder Scroll at this time wound where Alduin was banished from time. And it's like, oh, yeah, we already have an Elder Scroll. So
Yep.
that's basically it. He also poses the philosophical question of, like, this is the fated end of the world. Are you sure you're going to stop it? What's your reasoning? And then you give reasoning that's good enough. And he's like, okay.
We like this world, I guess. But yeah, we have read an Elder Scroll, and because we did it at a very specific point, we are actually peering back in time to when the Dragonrend shout was invented and used against Alduin, and so we are going to learn it by peering back into the past. And that's what we're going to use to defeat Alduin.
But I honor
Meanwhile.
your
Meanwhile,
Krief Wolf Ak.
yeah, so this is a very, very long cutscene where we basically just watch a whole bunch of epic dragon fights and we learn the Dragonrend shout eventually. And then what you're going to see is Alduin, they use the Dragonrend shout on Alduin, but they don't defeat him. What instead they do is they actually send Alduin forward in time to the opening cutscene of this game, which we skipped. But don't worry about it, that's just what happened. So that's why Alduin is in our time period. But anyway, yeah, that's basically just what happens. So, P-Seg, if you got anything for us.
Oh, I got you. No problem at all. We've got a bunch more donations rolling in. A lot of love for this fabulous run. We've got $10 from Geister Carl, who asks, what type of wine would be best to get your stamina back? Asking for my next wine purchase.
I like Surly Brothers, personally.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a very good vintage, I agree.
Surly Brothers Vintage. There we go. We also have $100 from Spud McKeegan, who says, always worth it to help those in need. And I agree. Thank you very much, Spud, for that kind donation. And as a reminder, we are raising all this money to support NAMI. That's the National Alliance on Mental Illness. The National Alliance on Mental Illness's current work is informed by more than 40 years of inspiring conversation, support, and action that ultimately strengthens the fabric of communities and promotes opportunities to thrive for anyone touched by mental illness. Nami draws on their past accomplishments, the wisdom of lived experience, and current scientific understanding of mental health to help those suffering. So thank you very much for everybody. Keep those donations rolling in. We're at 50K, but we can definitely go further to help out Nami.
We will deal with Alduin ourselves. Here and now.
We shall see soon enough. Alduin approaches.
And there's Alduin.
Hi.
Hi, Alduin. So one other thing I will say is that the reason why no one knows this shout is because it was actually invented by people. Now most dragon shouts were invented by dragons. You know, the shout to breathe fire, the shout to whirlwind sprint, I guess somehow, the clear skies shout. All those, that's like dragon language. But the humans, after being oppressed by dragons for thousands of years, had just had enough, and so they actually managed to invent a dragon shout, the one you see here. And that's basically how it was lost. These three heroes invented it, and then, of course, they died because, they're mortal. But the Greybeards don't know it. The dragons can't use it, because it wasn't actually invented by dragons. It was invented by humans. And so that's why we have to peer all the way back into the past to actually learn the shout.
If I die today,
No dragon souls needed for this shout either.
Exactly. We just know it. We're that good.
Skyrim will be free.
Oops.
Oops.
On the wing. Sister Hawk, grant us your sacred breath to make this contract heard. Begone, World Eater. By words with older bones than your own, we break your perch on this age and send you out. You are banished. We shout you out from all our endings unto the last. You are banished!
It worked. You did it.
Yes, the World Eater is gone. May the spirits have mercy on our souls.
All right, so while we were all watching this cutscene and peering back into the past, Alduin has actually flown to the Throne of the World, I guess alerted by what's been going on. And we now have a boss battle. I'll use that, and let's see. That'll work. I got a few shouts I gotta do equip. Let's see, that one, and that one. That'll be 1, that will be 3, and that will be 2. Okay. Now, I do have to be careful about quick saving here because it is actually possible to soft lock if you save at the wrong time. That was the wrong shout.
Well, that'll slow things down just a little bit. Supposed to use dragon.
Let's see if I can just load up this autosave. Hopefully it won't soft lock things. That'll be rather annoying. Okay, we are good. So we got that, and we got that. Get to map the shouts again, but faster this time. Actually, equip Dragon Rend, very important. There we go. That's the correct shout. All right. Then I'm going to quick save here after we've done all of that. Now things do get a bit dicey, of course, during this boss battle because I am extremely underleveled.
Also under-equipped, literally just naked. So
I'm wearing party clothes to this fight.
It's important that you are keeping an eye on your health. The ideal position to be is by Alduin's side, near his wing. That's because the attack he does when you are by his wing, it deals the least damage. His shouts, breath attacks deal a lot of damage. His bite deals even more. And he doesn't really like to let you get behind him.
He really doesn't. But I think we might have done it. Now, the Dragon Rend shout also staggers him a bit, which is why I'm using that even though he can't take off anymore.
Yeah, so using only the first word means that cooldown is quicker and you can stagger him more.
One more for safety. That'll be good. Got him. All right. That was a very solid Alduin fight.
It's very easy to die here.
Yes, very. All right, gonna skip some dialogue here. Not a glitch. Don't worry about it. Now we're gonna head back to the Throne of the World, talk to Parthenax a bit. And what Parthenax is going to tell us is that Alduin has gone to Sovngarde, which is the place where people go when they die. But we're still very much alive, and so how do we get there?
You truly have the voice of a dog.
Why are you not talking to me?
Allies will think twice after Lot.
There we go.
Yeah, perhaps a fine place to
Okay.
trap.
So what we have to do is we have to have a dragon take us to the portal of Sovngarde. And for that we need to trap a dragon, of course. Now, the Jarl is like, yes, I know my palace was literally designed to trap a dragon, and they did that once like 1,000 years ago, but I don't want to do that while there's a civil war going on. And so we're going to be like, well, what if we negotiate a truce, and then the civil war stops for a bit. Whoops, I'm not going to attack you now. And so we now basically have to get into some politics, unfortunately.
I don't. Now what's this nonsense? I want to. Oh, do you think? No, I can't. But getting. If the Greybeards were willing to host a peace.
All right, so yeah, that's basically Jarl Balgrove telling us, okay, if you're willing to negotiate a truce for a little while, then we can trap a dragon in my palace. So I have to go to the Greybeards and say like, hey, you want to host the thing? And they'll be like, we don't really, that's not our thing. But I'll be like, don't worry, you just have to host it here. I'll handle the stuff.
Yeah, and then go talk to General Tullius and Ulfric Stonecloak. It's not terribly hard to convince them.
Nope.
There are persuade checks you can do if you want to, but you don't need it on either of them.
Exactly. There are dialogue options you can pick where you don't even have to do the persuade checks. You can just go straight to it. Whoops, wrong button. Now press caps lock. Okay. So first we head to Solitude, where we are going to convince General Tullius. And if you convince General Tullius, you can basically just go to... Oh, we got Khajiit here. This is going to be a little bit hectic.
You have committed crimes against smart.
Yes, please take me to the castle. Thank you very much. Okay, hopefully I have roll and sprint equipped. I did press the button a bunch. Okay, good.
Do you have some reason?
Now, in order to convince General Tullius to come to the Peace Council, we basically join the Civil War on the side of the Empire. Which, sure, fine. Whatever to go fast, I guess.
Yeah, I believe it's ever so slightly faster going here first.
Yep.
And that's because the no persuade option with Ulfric is like, it's Alduin, and then he runs his mouth a bit.
Yeah, exactly. So we're just going to skip all that and just tell Ulfric Stormcloak, hey, General Tullius has already agreed to attend. He'll be like, good, I'll come. All right, let's see if my guard is here. Nope. Wait a bit. Oh, where are you? I'm trying to guard warp into the palace. There you are.
Order of the Jarl. Stop.
Okay.
Smart.
There we go. The guard brought us right to the palace. Very helpful. Thank you, guard.
Won't give us a straight answer.
All right, just going to jump across these.
Come around. I remember you. I'm sorry to hear that. It's about.
We have a message from the Greybeards. Let's negotiate a truce.
I can't.
General Tullius has already agreed to attend. You'll come too. All right.
We've intercepted couriers from Solomon.
And now it is time for us to go to the Peace Council and try and negotiate a truce. This way. All right, we're going to have a seat at the table, and then it will more or less begin after I wait a bit. We do have a dialogue skip at the beginning, not a glitch, don't worry about it.
Done it. I should not have agreed to host have no business involving ourselves in such matters.
Your chief Talos hunter?
That didn't take long.
Yeah, they're basically arguing about whether the Thalmor are allowed to attend this negotiation. The Thalmor are basically, I won't say allied with the Empire, it's complicated. The Thalmor kind of defeated the Empire in battle and stuff. I can't think about what's trying to go fast. Anyway, I just skipped some dialogue there. And now we basically just kind of get into the peace negotiations. Now this is really, really boring. I just kind of wish I was anywhere but here. Like, say, maybe the province of Morrowind. And it sounds like all of you wanted to be there too, because you all donated $1,000 to Nami to watch another speedrun happen while this is going on.
My favorite Elder Scrolls game.
Yes.
Let's go.
Let's go. Click new button there. All right. So we are here on the prison boat in Morrowind. This is Geob. Geob's going to go on his own adventures and actually appear in a Skyrim DLC later. We will not be playing that DLC. I actually don't have any DLC loaded because that can softlock in the beginning. So we're just waiting for this guard here. We don't have full character control just yet. But we are going to be doing one of the hardest strats in the run right off the bat pretty much. And that is trying to get around this guard. It saves about 1.5 seconds. I got it. Nice. I love when I get that during a marathon. We have another skip coming up, and that is Hatch Skip right here. Nice, got that too. All right.
That just skips a dialogue box.
Yep. So now we have character generation. I'm going to pick Redguard as my race for Morrowind, because that gives me an ability known as Adrenaline Rush, which will be useful for a jump that's coming up in a couple of minutes. So we're going to head inside for the rest of character generation. I'm going to be picking a pre-made class because this is any percent and we don't need to care about leveling up. This is Locucius Urgala, also voiced by Wes Johnson, by the way.
Who would like to open the negotiations?
Then I'm going to pick Steed for my birth sign, which allows me to go fast.
You were born under a certain sign. And what would that be?
So that's why you're
Oops, almost missed it there. And then we have a little bit of an exploit. See, I'm going to steal a platter off to the side there. And if you steal it during the tutorial, they say stealing is bad, don't do that. But you don't actually get any consequences. And so if I just drop the platter on the floor, they're going to try and take it from me, but they can't because I don't have it anymore. It's on the floor. And we can just pick it up again and sell it for some gold later. All right, it's going to pick up this ring from a barrel. You're supposed to give that to an NPC outside, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to sell that for some gold as well.
Adrenaline rush here to move faster.
Yep.
And yes, you move faster on a diagonal in Morrowind, as in a fair number of older games.
Going to buy a few spells here. And then we are going to head out of town. There are several different kinds of teleportation. There's mark and recall, where you can mark a spot and recall there later. And then there's alms of the intervention, where we can teleport to a temple. Now, I am going to stop right here. We're going to head back to Skyrim because we have some dialogue coming up. Yeah, how about Riften? Whatever. Anyway, back to Morrowind. All right. So there's a little bit of an Easter egg here. There's a mage here who's invented some scrolls that allow you to jump really high and really far. He doesn't quite know how to use them correctly, so he's just going to jump to his death. We're going to grab those and teleport to Balmora. And from Balmora, we're just going to jump to the end of the game.
Yeah, so you want to use that scroll of Icarian Flight while you're sprinting. You want to keep sprinting the whole way. Use another one in midair, partly for menuing, partly to keep going fast in midair. And hey, look, we're at the end game.
We're at the end of the game. Nice.
So this right here is a dwarven fortress within the Ghost Gate where there's a plague and stuff, and he's picking up an artifact, one of Kagranak's tools, and switching very quickly between different weapons. Because he's on the 1.0 version of the game, that is not always removing stats from him as it should. If you're looking at the little stat screen there, and you can see it on your device that you're watching on. You'll notice that he's got a lot of speed.
Yep, I have 3,200 speed. Anyway, I'm just going to kill this boss here with a lockpick. Whoops, I didn't click that correctly.
Yep.
Okay, there we go.
Lockpick does not have any damage value, so
there we go.
returns an undefined number, effectively infinite damage, and it's an instant kill.
Yep.
So now he has Sunder and Keening. He's going to drop Keening and go for Sunder a little bit. Then
now we're going to the end of the game, basically.
Yep, levitate over to Dagoth Ur. Clip in there. It's really easy to like quick save and go out of bounds when you're this fast. Walls are just suggestions. Almost there. Now he's at the end of the game, going through this door. Right here is Dagoth Ur and the Heart of Lorkhan. He's just going to bop the Heart of Lorkhan a few times.
And we're done. And that's time right there. That's Morrowind. Thank you all so much for your very generous donations towards NAMI. I absolutely love doing this incentive. It's great because you can see they're still arguing about stuff, whatever. But yeah, that was Morrowind any %. But yeah, at this point, they're just going to talk a whole bunch and argue about stuff. We're going to negotiate a truce. You can't actually fail this. They've structured it that way. Ooh, great timing there. So, P-Seg, if you got a couple things to talk about, now would be a great time.
They're still not done.
They're still not done. Oh, my goodness. Well, that whole Dragon Rend cutscene earlier reminded me of one of our sponsors I'd love to talk about.
Ooh, I wonder who it is.
Oh, I can't imagine. Would it be Dragon Roast Coffee?
That sounds very relevant.
Very relevant indeed. Dragon Roast Coffee is a small, passionate team of coffee roasters that are dedicated to making coffee for gamers and the gaming community. Visit their website at www.dragonroast.coffee and enter the promo code RPGLB25, that's RPGLB, the number 25, at checkout for 10% off your order. In addition to their coffee, you can also purchase an exclusive dual-insulated RPG Limit Break tumbler, available only for this event. And the best part is that for all purchases made using the promo code, Dragon Roast will donate a portion of the proceeds to NAMI. So what are you waiting for? Get out there and fuel your adventure with Dragon Roast Coffee today, and maybe try to stay awake through these boring negotiations like this. Stay strong, MD. You'll get through them.
They're still arguing. We negotiated a truce. They liked the terms, and they're still arguing. Oh, God. It's okay. We're almost done. So Ed Sprint's going to give us a question involving Parthenax. We're not going to do that. Don't worry about it. But he's also going to tell us that we can summon a dragon, and he's going to tell us the name of the dragon, and we can use it as a shout, basically. All right. We're finally done. We did it. We negotiated a truce, I guess.
Justice demands that. And
Yeah. We know you don't like dragons and you want Parthenax dead.
Yeah.
We're
not going to do that.
We're focused on Alduin. Come on. Eyes on the prize, Esbern.
All right, so we now know the name of the dragon that's going to take us to the portal to Sovngarde. We now have the Jarl's permission to trap that dragon in his palace. So let's go do that. We just have to tell the Jarl, yep, we're ready. That's Lydia. We are going to try and avoid talking to Lydia. I'm sorry, everyone. I know there are lots of Lydia fans out there, but talking to Lydia is slow, and we don't need to do that, so...
Also, we're about to leave an area where she can actually affect things anyway, so
yes.
It's not like she'd help.
Okay. Whoops, that was the wrong shout there. Okay. That's not how you call a dragon. Anyway, let's actually call the dragon. That would be good. Okay. And then we wait for a bit. If I mess up the timing of that, then that can actually cause the shout to not do anything. All right, so Odoving should be coming here momentarily. Let's see if I can get him. Got him. All right, rip that guard. Now, Odoving does have a tendency to get a bit distracted, so hopefully we can get him inside the palace quickly.
He landed, right. That's good.
This way, please. Nope, not the Jarl. Me, please. There we go. Come on. This way. There we go. And then we just need to head... Boy, that was hot. Oh, then we just need to head inside, and then head back outside again, and everyone just took care of all the work for us.
Yay!
All right, and then we just need to tell Odoving, please take us to the portal of Sovngarde. You are kind of trapped there, so you don't have a choice. And he's like, oh, all right.
Gross. Only, of course, I could.
All right, so now we have to free him. So I am going to undo the chains there and wait a bit. That's going to skip the animation. That's not a glitch. Don't worry about it. I'm going to wait another hour so Odoving gets in position. I'm going to talk to him. Tab out of the dialogue, go somewhere else. That is going to skip a cutscene. That's not a glitch. Don't worry about it. Oh, goodness. I did that much too early. All right, let's head back to Dragon's Reach.
Probably could have just loaded that autosave when you traveled.
Probably could have. Let's see if I got that. Yep, okay. Thanks for helping me out there. Okay. Oh, we did not skip the cutscene because shenanigans happened. All right, we get to watch this. Whee! All right, so now we are at the portal to Sovngarde.
This is a big, long dungeon with a lot of stuff that you would have to run past, some stuff that you would have to kill that would be not the easiest thing. But we have parkour and wold.
Yep.
That's all we need.
Exactly. Now, if you've ever played like a precision platformer or like Celeste, for instance, yeah, that dragon's very annoying. It makes me so I can't see. You may be familiar with something called Coyote Time. This game does not have Coyote Time, and boy, do I wish it did, because some of these jumps you just do not get. As soon as you leave a platform, you do not get any chance for input whatsoever. And those games are much more generous. Shout out to devs who put in Coyote Time. Okay. We are done with this section. Do I need a potion?
I think so.
Yeah, it might be good. Okay. Yeah, let's just drink one, just for safety. Okay, jump over here. Nice, all right.
Without wold, it's all but impossible to get over there. I have tried.
Yeah, there's lots of invisible walls here.
Mm-hmm.
They're preventing me from trying to do what I just did. So, nice try, devs, but I'm a speedrunner. Oh, goodness. Another dragon's breathing nice on me. All right, here's the portal of Sovngarde. Final area of the run. And now here is where the wines come in handy. And let's see, okay, we've got 4, and that'll be 5. So you cannot wait in Sovngarde. So we're now going to be drinking the rest of our wines as we run through Sovngarde. Now this is where Alduin is. You're going to see Alduin flying around, eating the souls of people, which is very, very rude, so we want to stop that. They're supposed to enjoy an afterlife in the meat hall, not in Alduin's belly, I guess, so... Yeah, we need to defeat him here. Now, the 3 heroes that we saw when we peered way back into the past, they're here also. And so we're going to team up with them to help defeat Alduin. Oops, I sure did. Whirlwind sprint right into that there. Now, before we can get into the meat hall and talk to the heroes, we do have a mini-boss battle, and that is Sun. Sun can be a bit tricky, especially if you're super under-leveled like I am. We do have some strats to deal with him, like breathing fire in his face. This is only the 2nd time in the run that fire breathing is helpful.
It is not necessary, but it is, yes, helpful.
Yes, exactly. Let's see. I will be equipping that and this, and then equipping that, and then quick saving, just in case I die, because that could happen.
He can absolutely one-shot you here.
Yep. Got him. All right, nice. So now that we've done that, we can gain entrance to the meat hall where the heroes are waiting for us. And it's finally time to defeat Alduin. They don't have any wines on 4. It's all right, I got plenty of 5. Oh, that was fire breath. That was the wrong shout. Got plenty of wine. All right, here are the heroes we saw from the Dragonman cutscene. I'm going to be doing some more door shenanigans here just to skip the big epic speeches they give. There they are. And they're off. Going through this door this time. And now we can join them.
Coming up is the only use of clear skies in this speedrun.
Yep. Oh, I had clear skies equipped and not whirlwind sprints. That is a problem. Oh well. Let's see, how much wine do I have? That's fine. That'll be enough.
You also have cheese.
Yep. Well, the cheese is for the Alduin fight.
Exactly.
Okay. Let's see, drink the rest of the wine. We have to do some bumping here.
We cannot.
Clear sky!
Oh, I got a cooldown here. There we go. So we got a big epic moment here before the final Alduin fight where we just kind of team up with the heroes and we clear skies here. Of course, Alduin is causing a mist to appear, and that's his big mist shout. Once we do this 3 times, then he'll be out of mist shouts, I guess, on our cooldown timer, just like us. And then we can actually fight him. So while we're doing this now would probably be a great time for shoutouts. A few shoutouts I'd like to give would be, of course, the Elder Scrolls community. So that would be Kronos, that would be the other folks who have routed this. Pekkanen, also Lilu. A whole bunch of folks I'm probably forgetting while I'm trying to go fast here. But yeah, definitely big shouts to everyone in the Elder Scrolls community. Of course, shout out to LK47 for commenting. Shout out to everyone behind the scenes who helped me do 2 speedruns at once. Where are you, Alduin? Oh, you're over there this time.
That's unusual.
Yeah, wow. Nice, got him. Whoops, why did I do that? All right. So time is going to be when I get the final hit on Alduin and his health meter runs out. There will be kind of a sound that happens when I get there. Oh, this is going all right so far. Whoops. Okay, I did get him. He's going to land again. I did forget to keep that up and charge, but oh well. There we go. It looks like he's actually attacking the heroes, which is very good. And time.
GG.
Yep, so that was the Elder Scrolls Skyrim and also the Elder Scrolls Morrowind. 2 runs in 1. Thank you all once again for your generous donations to Nami. I have been Musical Daredevil. I run the whole Elder Scrolls anthology. I also like to play Zooter a lot. You can catch me at twitch.tv/Musical Daredevil. There goes Alduin. In addition to being on my own personal channel, which you can probably see below my face during this whole run, I also run the Twitch channel for the Washington Metropolitan Gamers Symphony Orchestra, WMGSO. We are taking this weekend off because last weekend we had our big spring concert, but on June 1st we will have our next stream, which will be determined at some point. So definitely check us out there, check me out there. And yeah, LK47, you got anything else you want to say?
I just want to give a shout out to everyone here at Limit Break helping run the show. It's a whole team effort, and on a thing like this where you have to have like 2 setups and switch it into middle of the run and then switch it back again, that's not the easiest thing. So shout outs to everyone for making that work. Shout outs to the Elder Scrolls speedrunning community, a bunch of cool people there, even though I don't interact much over there. You're all cool. And yeah, that's about it. Shout outs to Nami. Shout outs to you viewers too.
Yep. And if you would like to learn this run as well, we do have a Discord. If you head to speedrun.com, check out any of the Elder Scrolls runs there. You can head to our Discord. This run is definitely one of the more forgiving runs. There are some strats there and some very difficult parts, as you saw, but overall, this is definitely learnable and lots of stuff here that even you can do at home if you don't want to speedrun. But I think that's going to do it for us. So hope you all get hyped for our next run.
And thank you so much, Musical Daredevil, for another wonderful run. And hey, have you ever had a daydream during something boring and just done a speed run in your head? No? Maybe? Well, we just witnessed that. We witnessed a daydreamed speed run right here on RPG Limit Break 2025. With that said, we are going to take a quick ad break. So don't go anywhere. Sit tight, get some self-care if you need it, and we'll be right back with more RPG Limit Break 2025. Stick around. You're watching RPG Limit Break 2025. I'm P-Seg. You are a hype and wonderful audience. Yeah, that's right, you are. And we are still getting set up for our next run, which will be Newtopia with Von Ivan. While we're getting all that tech set up, I want to talk to you about some things we didn't have a chance while dealing with all those wonderful dragons and daydreaming about other speed runs and things that happened during our last run. We have a bunch of incentives that you're not only just incentivized to help out Nami with your kind donations, you can help future runs. For example, one that I'm very interested in is coming down the road later on tonight. That's Phantasy Star 4, The End of the Millennium. There's a couple incentives for that I think are very interesting. One is an incentive of completing the Anger Tower. If we reach $1,000 donated to that incentive, we will take on the Anger Tower. I don't know what that entails, I'll be real with you, but it says Anger Tower. I mean, that in itself sounds really, really scary or aggressive or kind of unnerving in any way or form. But make sure that when you are putting your donations in to help out Nami, if you're capable of doing so, which, if you're just here watching, no problem as well. We love having you here. As I said, you are a hype and wonderful audience. But if you can donate, make sure you put it towards an incentive. We have a $100 donation from Meniar, who does not provide a comment, but thank you so much for that kind donation. And another incentive, I can call it a couple here. We've got a couple incentives going on. You could also, if you wanted during Phantasy Star 4, choose the final party member. That's right, you get to choose how the party is composed. You could choose Grizz or Raja. I hope I'm pronouncing this right, but I think that looks right to me. Grizz or Raja? Grizz or Raja? Right now, Grizz is in lead with $10, which you know what that means. Just a $10 lead, any donation $10 or above could change the tide of that bid war. So again, get those donations rolling in. I should also note, while you are considering donating, we have wonderful prizes, not just incentives. You could potentially win prizes with minimum donations. For example, right now, until the Trials of Mana run later tonight, there's a couple very cool prize packs that you could possibly win with a donation. For example, a Chrono Trigger notebook and sticker pack, and gosh, it looks very, very cute. Provided by Quiztacular. That is a minimum $5 donation to put you in the running to win that. There's also a Final Fantasy VI wooden case replica. Very, very gorgeous. I've seen these in person. They are just stunning. Genuinely stunning. And that's a minimum $25 donation to be in the running to win that. It was provided very kindly to us by Pigmented. Thank you for that, Pigmented. We also have, and this is very pertinent to our upcoming run, we have Jezetta Pearlers. That's right, do you want to be the hero Jezetta? Well, you can't be, but you can have Jezetta in Pearler form for hanging up on the wall, for just having near you. And I don't know how you want to show off your Pearlers. That's up for you to decide, not for me. That's a minimum $5 donation provided very kindly to us by Red Silvers. And that again, all of those prizes I mentioned are running until the end of the Trials of Mana speedrun later tonight. While we're hanging out here watching and getting ready for our next run, I also want to send a shout out to the people involved with our foreign language restreams. Our French restream can be found at twitch.tv/lefrenchrestream, and our Japanese restream at twitch.tv/Japanese_restream. If those restreams can help you better enjoy the marathon, please go check them out and send them some love. I'd also love to give a shout out to one of our lovely sponsors, and that is Tantrum Merch. Exclusive RPG Limit Break X Tantrum merch is now live. Shop the RPG Limit Break collection featuring shirts, blankets, tote bags, and much more. And what's better, Tantrum Merch will donate up to $5 per item sold to the National Alliance on Mental Illness and its mission. Grab your gear now at tantrummerch.com/RPG Limit Break. And the woozy here in the background there are for a very, very hyped selfie. Everybody is very hyped for this run coming up. But yes, the Tantrum merch, I have stopped by their booth right here at the event, and let me say, their shirts are beautiful. All their merchandise is just absolutely exquisite. I think you will definitely enjoy it. Please check them out if you are interested. We're still having a bunch of very kind donations roll in. That includes $50 from an anonymous donor. Thank you so much. No comment on that one, but thank you for the kind donation. $10 from another anonymous donor. No comment there, but thank you very much. $30 from another anonymous donor. Thank you very much, and no comment provided there either. And $100 from Iron Furs. No comment on that donation, but thank you very much, Iron Furs, for that kind donation to help support NAMI. We're still getting set up for that Newtopia run. I'm just looking around. I am admiring the absolute pile of plushies we have there on screen that you see there. And hey, I'm looking at one over there. If you didn't see Kermit earlier in this marathon, my goodness, that was a run you need to go check out. I believe that was, oh gosh, it was Shorty's battle. Go look for Drumbordist's run, I will say. It is maybe one of the funniest runs I've seen overnight. I walked into the stream room here and it was just fantastic. A great run, but all the runs here are great. But again, adorable pile of plushies here. And also in the middle of that, Tazbot. Tazbot is not a plushie. Last I checked, Tazbot is a Tazbot. But, you know, Tazbot likes plushies. What can we say? And a quick update on our incentives. I know I said Anger Tower was a ways away with $1,000 needed to unlock it for the Phantasy Star 4 run later on. Well, Runner's Choice from earlier, MD chose Anger Tower, so now we're at $814 of the $1,000 we need to reach that. Very, very close to getting having to complete Anger Tower in Phantasy Star 4. I assume that's very tough. I'm looking forward to it either way. Phantasy Star is a great series. But keep those donations rolling in to help out Nami and to support RPG Limit Break 2025. And thank you to chat for reminding me of the game name. It was Shorty's Kingdom 2. I could not remember what the noun was there. But Shorty's Kingdom 2 featuring that Kermit plushie there and also Drum Bortus, I suppose. It was a very good run. You should check it out in our archives if you have not already. Also, we will be running all night with wonderful, and all through this week, until Saturday night with wonderful speedruns. After Newtopia, there will be Phantasy Star 4, The End of the Millennium. Then there will be Touhou Shoujo, Tale of Beautiful Memories, Super Touhou RPG. And also after that, Trials of Mana. So we'll be running good RPGs all night. You will not want to miss it unless you have to sleep, in which case I suppose you do have to miss it, but I mean, I don't know your sleep schedule. And it's fun to watch these marathons. So stick around. More RPG Limit Break and Newtopia right around the corner.